Hello. Hi, everybody. It is Saturday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Today is not only Valentine's Day, it's the first day of the 2026 Vegan Health Bundle. It's getting released today. And so I have a very special guest who's also part of the bundle. It is Laurie Landry, and she has contributed to the bundle. It's a desserts. It's all desserts, bake, blend. Um, and she is a wellness coach, but she's also an actress, which is so interesting. And she advocates for eating healthy, vegan, whole foods. And this is the second year that we have connected in the bundle. So it's very nice. And today, during our live here, we are going to talk to you all about the bundle. And we're going to share not only what did we have in the bundle, but all the other things that are in the bundle. So we have over 68 contributions, and it's worth well over $4,500. You have to get this bundle before Sunday, February 22nd. So it's only available until the 22nd, and then you can't get this collection of unique items in one bundle. You can't get it after that. You got to act on it right away. So welcome, Laurie. How are you doing? Glad to see you again.
I'm good. Thank you for getting together with me and doing another live. I always love chatting with you, and super excited about the bundle and everything in it. And I just want to make mention really quickly is that if you've done a bundle before, this is a totally new bundle. Every bundle is different. So even if you got the Vegan Health bundle last year, with Chef Val and I were in, we have different submissions this year. So you'll get different stuff from us, different stuff from different contributors. And so it's just amazing. And on Valentine's Day, what a better, there's no better gift than the gift of health. So you can definitely give that to yourself or someone you love.
Absolutely. And Dawn says, Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks for tuning in to have Laurie and I talk to you today. Yeah, so I have to tell you that I have something in the oven and I have the timer set. So at a certain amount of time, Laurie's going to take over and just chat with you. But I have sourdough bread in the oven, whole wheat sourdough bread in the oven, because Chef Julia Dunaway is one of the contributors to the bundle. And her contributions every year have to be up there among some of my favorites. And this year she has the whole food sourdough book and videos. And so I'm a huge fan of bread, love bread. And I've been making sourdough bread for many, many years now, but I've never used her technique. So I spent all day yesterday working with it and figuring it out. And so it's in the oven right now. Hopefully it's going to turn out. It's not as beautiful as hers, though. So this is one of my favorite things in the bundle is Chef Julia Dunaway's whole wheat sourdough course. She teaches you how to make the bread. She teaches you how to make the sourdough starter too. You got to watch the video. You have to watch the video because I don't know if you've ever done this, but sourdough is challenging and complicated. I'm a visual learner. The class that she does is amazing. She goes over everything, but then she also has it all typed out. And what you can do when you get the bundle is just go and print it. And this is what I have in the bundle. Look, I just printed it. And anything that you like, you can go and print. And it only costs a few dollars to print it. So that's really cool. Laurie, what is one of the things in the bundle that's your favorite?
Yeah, so, oh gosh, I haven't gone through everything, but I've sort of skimmed, most of the things. And there's a lot that really stand out. So for me, I do cook a lot, but I don't consider myself a chef in any way, unlike you and Chef Julia. But so what really resonates with me is I love transformational stories. I love stories that, I can really relate to and resonate, and that really kind of breaks open the emotions for me. So I'm really looking forward to, so Tim Kaufman has his book Escape in there, and Chuck Carroll has his newest book Lost and Found in there, and they both went through some health stuff. They both went through some emotional, mental stuff, and I'm guessing, I haven't read the books yet, but I'm guessing that the books are kind of get to tell more of their story, more of their transformation. Oh, is that your timer?
Keep talking. Yes.
All right.
Keep
So I'm
talking.
looking forward to those. I'm also looking forward to the plant powered party that Chef Age this year in Vegas. Because I wasn't able to go. I'd love to go to one of those at some point, but I wasn't able to afford the expense of lodging and getting there and everything, and the ticket for the event. But so this is in the bundle, and that alone, I mean, I think each submission alone is worth just the $49 of the bundle, but you get like over 70 products in the bundle. And so I'm really looking forward to the plant powered party and seeing all the speakers and the seminars and the cooking demos and stuff. So I'm excited about that. So those are, I've got a bunch more that I'm really excited about and kind of dabbled with, but yeah, I personally love the seminars and the courses and the talks and the transformational stories. That's what I enjoy the most. Of course, I enjoy the recipes too, because like you can never have enough healthy recipes, oil-free recipes, right?
Okay. I think my sourdough bread worked.
Does it?
And it smells amazing. Let me show it to you. Of course, I baked mine in a regular bread loaf.
Oh, it looks good. Yeah.
And it did rise. Yeah, it did
Good.
rise. Yeah. I mean, I've made sourdough so many times. It's never risen this much. Usually mine is more condensed, more flat. So what I learned from Chef Julia really, really worked or helped. It's too hot. It's too hot to take out of that pan right now, so I can't.
Yeah.
And it smells amazing. Now,
How long
you mentioned?
I was going to say, for the bread, how long did it take you to like sort of prep the bread before you can actually put it in the oven?
All day yesterday. Watch Chef Julia's bread making class. It's literally like, she's got it down. It's like 6 hours for her, but at different stages when I was making it, mine did not look good. It looked funky. So I had to kind of do stuff to it. Mine took longer than 6 hours. And then once you have it, you put it in the refrigerator like overnight, like 12 to 14 hours before you even bake it.
Oh,
yeah. So it's still rising in the fridge. So you better plan on 2 days to make the sourdough bread. And if you don't have a sourdough starter, you got to plan weeks ahead of time, because you got to get the starter, you got to ferment it. And she walks you through how to make a starter, which is amazing. So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have a starter in my fridge. I started it a few years ago, but my mom, when I was a kid, my mom used to have a sourdough starter on the countertop, and she used to make bread from scratch, which was awesome. My mom still makes like the best homemade bread. I love it. And then when I was at a macrobiotic cooking school, when I learned my, way of cooking, she had a sourdough starter too, and we would feed it. And then every once in a while we would make a loaf of bread. But Chef Julia's is just, I don't know, her techniques are unique, and her bread looks more beautiful than any bread I've ever remember seeing. Yeah.
It looks great. Yeah. Skim her contribution. It looks amazing.
Do you like sourdough bread?
Sourdough is my favorite. It's actually not just my favorite bread. I think it's my favorite thing to eat. I love sourdough. And I think if you get a good grain, and you make it at home, which I have not tried yet, but I think that if anyone that has, some issues eating bread, which I fall into that category, it's the issues they might not cause an issue if you're making your bread at home, right? Because there's not a lot of like preservatives and additives and things like that. And if you're using a good grain as well. So I definitely want to try it sometime. It's a little intimidating, I'll be honest, but yeah, not being a chef, like I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Well, that's what's so great about the bundle. I mean, the bundle is $49, and Chef Julia's class is well worth more than $49 to learn. And, throughout the years, people have asked me to teach. And I've taught how to make bread with yeast, like monkey bread, cinnamon rolls, but that's yeasted. A little easier to do than sourdough.
Yeah, that's the only bread I've done is yeast bread. I haven't done it with like a starter or a mother or anything like that.
So what she put together took must have taken her like she had to have planned it, and it was all day. It's a video, so she was able to like take a break, and take a break, take a break, but it was an all day thing. It's fabulous. But I don't know if you've ever had this flour before, icorn.
No.
Okay, so this is the flour I use for my starter, and this is what I use to bake with because this is the ancient wheat berry before they tampered with it. So in the 1950s, they didn't genetically modify it because in the 1950s they weren't doing genetically modification. They hybrid. They hybrid the wheat plant because they wanted to make it bigger to make more food. But they
Right.
basically messed with the beautiful wheat berries that humans have been eating for hundreds of thousands of years. And they changed the protein profile and they made it harder to digest.
Hmm.
But because the wheat berry was bigger and so they could make more for less money, they substituted all the wheat with the new quote unquote wheat, right? Now that's why some people have a hard problem, digesting wheat, besides the additives and preservatives that you mentioned, because most commercial bread has that. But I'm just talking about the wheat itself. Even the wheat that was hybrid is different. It's harder to digest. But
Yeah.
this one, icorn, this is the heirloom wheat that did not get changed. So that's why I use this one. And this is a whole wheat, but you can also get one that's like a wheat flour. So that the wheat flour isn't as heavy as the whole wheat. But, anyways, this is what I use because it's the old wheat, the way that it was. And so um, a lot of people that have problems eating wheat do not have a problem with this because it's the ancient wheat berry before they tampered with it, basically. And that's what I use for my bread. It makes the bread heavier, though, because it's a
Okay.
heavy flour, but I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't want to try that. Do you get that online?
Yes. And it's not cheap.
Mm,
Well, you can get it sometimes on sale, but usually this bag is like $9.
yeah.
Yeah.
But worth it if you can, actually digest
Oh,
your flour because I have trouble with wheat myself, so I try not to eat it too often, but if I could get something that wouldn't cause, so much upset, that would be nice.
yeah. Now, back to the bundle. You mentioned, which is what I wanted to mention too, the guys. We have 3 books in the bundle written by guys who had health problems and they switched over their diet and the incredible success that they had. Now, we're so used to hearing women usually in the vegan world, it's usually us women who are promoting it too. So Nate Maris wrote a book called Full Mast.
Hmm.
Check that out too. I love the way Nate writes. He's very straightforward and like the food you're eating is crap. You know what I mean? I just love that. I love that about him. Like Dr. McDougall used to do the same thing whenever he was on the Chef AJ show, and people would ask questions like, "Oh, I have this health problem, blah blah blah. Can you help me?" And Dr. McDougall would always say, "It's the food you're eating." I just love that. Straightforward. It's the food you're eating, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Um, Tim Kaufman, Escape, Break Free from Self-Made Prison. I didn't know who he was. I opened it up. I started reading it. I couldn't stop reading it. He is a really good writer. He like draws you into his story. He's You got to check that one out, Lori. That one's really good. And
Yeah, that
I
one.
haven't got the other one you mentioned. Um,
Chuck Carroll
the other
lost.
guy. Yeah, I
I
haven't
think
checked.
he put his mission in a little bit later. So
Haven't checked, but we've got 3 books for the guys, the vegan guys out there, or if you know someone who's maybe thinking about changing their diet or somebody who has health issues, these 3 books would be relatable, to the males out there, which I think is great. So the bundle has something for everybody.
yeah,
Everybody.
you make a good point with the men because I think that there's this. Obviously, it's not it's not everyone, but there's this sort of like thought process of like, to be manly, you need to eat meat, right? And I don't know where it stemmed from. Probably the meat industry, who knows? But it's the steaks and the burgers, and it's like we're guys, we're gonna grill, And I think that it's a little bit harder for a lot of men to kind of get on board with going plant based, going vegan, even if it does help them, because there's sort of this stigma, and they don't want to be thought of a certain way, or even maybe they don't even really realize that that might be part of it, right? And like socially, we become who we're surrounded with and what we hear all the time. And yeah, I do think you bring up a good point. I didn't even really realize, yeah, with the guys who wrote these books, um, it's not just the recipes and they're like, hey, eat healthy. It's like it's their story, so you can really, and these are manly guys. They're not they're not these like wimpy, guys that haven't been through anything. Like these are strong, healthy men who, changed and adapted their lifestyle and their nutrition and have only gotten stronger, have only gotten healthier, and their relationships got stronger. And yeah, so it's a good point you bring that up. That's really cool.
Yeah. So if anybody's watching our live stream right now, you feel free to ask us any questions that you want in the chat. We'll be able to answer them. And so why don't we just, briefly, Laurie, like, what is your story? What, did you overcome when you changed your diet?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed at a young age. Well, I was diagnosed when I was 9, but I had symptoms since birth of different problems. I was always complaining about pain in my feet. I had stomach issues. I had malabsorption. I wasn't, it was like I needed to. I had chronic ear infections. I ended up like later on in life, so it just compounded more things after the other. I ended up having multiple autoimmune diseases and multiple chronic illnesses, and it was just the only therapy were surgeries and medicine. And in some ways, those did help. And I'm grateful to have, my Western allopathic doctors who did help, help me in those ways. But a lot of times they were just Band-Aid methods, and they weren't long-term, root cause answers. And so at some point, I don't remember exactly when, but I was just searching for answers because I got so depressed. And I just said, there has to be more in life than just always feeling in pain and always having to worry about if I was going to do something with friends or when I go to school, or if I could hold a job, like if I was going to have to take my medication with me, or if I was going to have to cut it short, or if I was going to feel bad, or I couldn't keep up, or I had to cancel, and I wasn't able to fully be a child. I wasn't able to fully live my childhood. And when I got to my early 20s, when I had a little bit more self-indulgence, I sought after some doctors who were more like functional doctors, more holistic doctors, and they kind of opened my eyes to, it's not just all medication. Maybe there's other things like supplements, or maybe it's something you're eating. So let's do, tests on, allergies, and maybe it's something other than just you had bad luck. These are your genetics. So sorry. Take these meds and, hope for the best. And so even though, those doctors didn't necessarily help me reverse my illnesses, they definitely helped me, open my eyes and think outside the box and start doing research on my own and reading, and when, going online and talking to more people and asking for, advocating for myself more. And so finding out through many years that, that a lot of the typical things that maybe many of us know, the heavily processed are not good for you. I was a food addict. I was eating Cheetos, and I was eating a poor diet. I was eating ice cream every day. My family worked for a very big ice cream chain that back east called Hood Ice Cream. Delicious ice cream, but so not delicious for your health. So we always had ice cream at the house. Like there was never, my grandparents always had ice cream, that ice cream all day long. I ate ice cream almost every day in the summer. I ate cheese every day, just up until not even that long ago. And I was very addicted to it because they're very addicting foods. But yeah, a lot of us know not to eat so many sugary foods and baked goods and processed foods. But it's not easy to give up, especially if you don't notice a difference right away, right? It's not always that easy when you're addicted or everyone around you is eating it. But what I started to learn more was that it's not just those candies and baked goods that aren't really helping our health. It was also, the heavy animal products, the cheese, the dairy, the eggs, the meat, the fish. And I was always told that I needed, to have my poultry and my fish for my omegas and my iron and my B vitamins and my protein. And so I didn't really question it, and until I started doing my own research. And then I knew I also am like a huge animal lover, and I was able to put the blinders on for a long time, but I realized I don't think I should be eating it for my health. And also, like, I don't want to eat animals. I just want to pet them. And so I did dabble for years on and off with like vegetarian diet, but I was still eating all the other crap. So I never really noticed a huge difference in my health with, not eating so much meat. Then I went kind of pescatarian for a little bit. Um, and maybe noticed a little bit, but again, I was still eating the processed food, I was still eating the cheese, the ice cream, all that stuff. And then about, gosh, it'll be almost 6 years. Yeah, it'll be almost 6 years soon. I I said, okay, I told my partner, I said, I really want to try going vegan. And we were both kind of like, he already knew I was trying all this, and he's kind of done different diets with me. And he was just like, all right, I'll try it with you, but like we're probably gonna eat cheese again. And I was like, I know we're probably gonna eat cheese again, but let's just try it for a little while. Like we weren't mentally prepared to give that up yet. But we did. We went 3 weeks, probably took about 3 weeks of not eating any animal products. We were cooking mostly at home, and we noticed that we weren't craving cheese anymore, which I can't even emphasize how addicted to cheese I was literally eating it every day on everything. And so for someone like me who was eating it that often and giving it up, which was I it was hard at first, but about the 3 to 4 week mark, we were like, I don't really even miss it. And then we had it by accident once. We ordered something that didn't say cheese in it, and we didn't realize that. So it was a pupusa. We love pupusas, and we didn't realize that pupusas just usually automatically have cheese in it, but it said like vegetables and beans. So I thought that's what was in it. And we got it and we started eating it. And I was like, I think this has cheese in it. And like kind of opened it more, and I was like, this has cheese. And I was so bummed, because we had just gone whatever 3 4 weeks. I was so bummed, but I found like I was like, I didn't like the texture anymore. The texture really grossed me out, and I didn't even really find it that tasty. Like I would have been happier without the cheese. So I thought that was really interesting. And then also I started noticing like my energy increased, and my sleep was getting better. My skin was really clear. I just kind of felt a little bit happier, like, all kind of small things. But when I had to like kind of sit back and look back, like, oh, and then a couple weeks later, like my joint pain started to go away. So I had rheumatoid arthritis since I was diagnosed when I was 9, but had it earlier. And, I always had hand pain, I always had back pain, always had foot pain, always would have just like the pain move around my spine, my knees, my wrists, my elbow, like it would move around. And I was like, that's getting a lot better. Like I'm having more energy, like where I actually want to go out and like do stuff active, like be active. And, the more and more I did it, and then I got really excited. So I started following like all the vegan and plant-based people, more so than I had before, and started getting into the communities. And that's when I got involved with, I think the first one was the plant-based bundle. And then I got involved in the vegan health bundle, and connecting with more people through the lives and building up my community that way too, because we don't have a lot of family and friends in our physical life, and personal, I guess, that eat the same way we do. And that can be a challenge. So finding that connection online with all of you has been really helpful too. And I keep learning more. Like I don't know, I still don't know a ton about, macrobiotics, and energy of foods and in food combining and stuff like that. And I'm interested in that. And because the more I'm learning, the more I'm figuring out what's working for me. Like I can't predict the future. I'll never say never, but I can't see myself ever going back to eating animal products, because I love animals so much, and it didn't do me any good for 30 something years of my life. So I don't think I'd ever change that way, but definitely incorporating more, some raw food, and maybe some more macrobiotics, and maybe some Ayurvedic, and just different elements. And I'm interested in, like herbs that we grow, and and things rather than uh, just relying on. And I'm not an anti-medication by any means. I still take some. Um, excuse me. I still take some, but I'm not anti-supplements at all. Too. I find that there can be value and help in any of these things. And I know that not every person is the exact same, but I do believe that humans have a diet that we're supposed to thrive on. And if we eat that diet, and that diet consists of some elements that we need, right? There's our macros, our protein, our carbs, our fats, right? But it's our micros. So it's our vitamins, our minerals, it's our enzymes, it's our water intake, it's our fiber, and a lot of those are missing in the processed food and in the animal products. So I do believe that all humans should really focus on the plant-based foods, even if they're not willing to give up all animal products, but focused on the whole foods, focus on the plant foods. And that's also why I love the vegan health bundle, because it's like, even if you're not vegan or you're not planning to be vegan or plant-based fully, but you just want to incorporate. I know I have some friends that just don't like vegetables, but this is a good way. Like, if you get the bundle, this is a good way to find recipes that you can kind of tinker around with and see like ways you can add more vegetables in, even if you make like a small portion, or you just, maybe you don't like the specific vegetables, you can change them out. There's just, the bundle is not only recipes, obviously, like we talked about before, but if you really care about your health and you are trying to change your diet and your nutrition, like, it's just a fantastic um, product to have, and like you said, there's over 70 products in there, and it's only $49, and like the retail value is what, 4600 over $4,600, I think now. And you get it all for $49, and you get like 70 products. It's incredible. And you never know, like, people, like, I have a lot of um, friends and family that say I'm healthy, and I'm not trying to tell them they're not healthy. Like, we all have our things, right? Somebody's trying to work on weight, somebody's trying to work on their hair, somebody's trying to work on their nail, like, whatever. We all have our things. But that someone says I'm healthy, but then I know that they're taking like a medication because their doctor said it's genetic, and like they have no choice. And I'm like, but there are definitely ways you can bring down your blood pressure. There's definitely ways you can bring down your cholesterol levels. There's, definitely ways you can help your joint pain, like you can lower your inflammation. And they're just kind of settled because it's genetic, or it's their luck, or they're getting older, or whatever the excuse is. And yes, those things are going to come into play, but I think that don't quit. Like, you can try to make it, little changes here and there can make a huge, huge difference that you won't even know. Like, some of my clients, they come to me for their autoimmune disease and chronic illness, but they're not even really thinking about their skin. And they're like, my skin is glowing. People are asking me like what products I'm using. And like, no, they're just eating like whole foods. How about
Yes,
you?
thank you, Lori. We have a lot of parallels. So cheese was my favorite food. I literally ate it every day of my life until I decided to change my diet, and I changed my diet in my early 20s. And Diet for New America. I read that by John Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I decided to go vegan after I read that book. The horrible conditions of which the animals are raised, just, I went, oh. And then I read Milk, the Deadly Poison.
I don't know
And I
that
was
one.
like, oh my God, that's never going in my body again. It's like you read, like, what is it doing to you? You're like, that's not going in my body again. And I gave up cheese, cold turkey, got rid of it. Now I enjoy creating my own vegan cheeses. And I'm so into that right now. I just taught a cooking class, uh, nacho vegan cheese sauce,
Mm.
and there was no oil in that, and it was creamy and it melted, and all the people in the class, when they tasted it, they went, oh my God, Val, this tastes like Velveeta nacho cheese sauce that I remember from years ago or whatever. Because so you can make, I'm sorry, that's not in the bundle, it's a new recipe, sorry. uh, what's in the bundle, like, is stuff that was created and submitted to the bundle. I'm always creating, but my reason was cheese. You can make cheese substitutes and sauces and creamy sauces so that you can put it. And there are some things in the bundle. There's Nate Maris does crack spread repeat. So he's got some spreads. Some of
Yeah.
them are like, vegan cheese spreads. So that would be really good. I think someone has a sauces book too. I don't have
Yeah.
that written down, but I'm pretty sure there's a sauce book in there. So if you are someone like Lori or myself who just love your cheese for whatever reason, there's always substitutes. And the bundle has many different options for you. You can start experimenting in your kitchen to satisfy that taste, basically. So I don't have to worry about it. So Lori has in the bundle some desserts. I think they're all desserts.
No,
It's
there's
bake,
also
spice,
crack.
and blend.
Yeah,
Oh, is that
so
it? You got the cover? Okay.
yeah. And so there's two desserts. So there's muffins, there's brownies or brownie batter. There's flax crackers, and then
Oh,
there's a
crackers.
smoothie.
Yeah.
And so the reason I wanted to create this was because most people I know, maybe not most, okay, so most of them probably don't drink smoothies like as much as I do, right? But a lot of people like tasty drinks. So I don't drink any, like I drink tea, sometimes coffee and water, and that's it. Like I'll have like a fresh pressed juice or like smoothie, but I don't drink soda. I don't drink juices, like, store-bought juices. But I have a lot of friends that love their sweet sodas and their sweet teas and, a lot of like their lemonades and their juices. And I wanted to create a smoothie that tastes so good that you're like, this can't be healthy. So the strawberry basil margarita smoothie has all your hidden vegetables in. I put a ton of vegetables in that smoothie, but you will not know if you try it. It tastes like, so I don't know if you've ever like had adult beverages, but it reminds me of, so years ago I had like a strawberry daiquiri. It reminds me of either like a strawberry daiquiri with a little bit added, like, something with the basil, or like a milkshake. There's no milk in it. And it's so delicious. It could just be your dessert. It could be, your drinks with your friends. It would be great at any time during the year. But definitely like summer or whatever. And but the other recipes that I made, so almost everyone I know always has crackers, right? And Nate did a cracker book too. You go to a party and you're like, okay, there's this, like, processed, I don't know, I hate to throw out brands and like throw them under the bus, but like Pepperidge Farms or your Toll House, or whatever cracker you're gonna buy at the store, and there's kind of a lot of crap in them, right? And so I wanted to make a cracker that gives you the crunch, it gives you the salt if you want, depends on what you put in it. You can change up the recipe. You can make them like rosemary flavored. You can make them no without the salt, or um, and so you get the crunch, because I know crunch is just like a huge thing that people want sometimes. They just want to snack on chips, they want to snack on crackers, and they don't want to eat the celery, right? So I wanted to make crackers that they could bring with them. And also what I do sometimes with actually I do it more often now with my flax crackers, I I crunch them up so like they're like, just all crumbles, and I put them over my salad, and they kind of like take the place of a crouton.
Yeah.
And because mine have like a soy sauce in them, or actually I think I used aminos in it, but you can use soy or aminos, or um, and it has that saltiness too. So, they taste good. Like you said, you mentioned the cheeses. Like if you were gonna make like a vegan feta, or you were gonna turn like a tofu into a feta or something like that, and that goes like combines with it. So it's got that saltiness, and that flavor that adds to your salad and the added crunch. So I wanted to do something that like you eat kind of fairly regularly, and you would share with people, and like what is it? It's like your sweet drinks, your crackers, your muffins. So I made banana muffins that even, I've shared them with so many people, and nobody would ever guess that they don't have any oil, they don't have any eggs, they don't have any dairy in them. They wouldn't know that they're vegan. They wouldn't know that they're, and you don't have to use any processed sugar. I can't remember what I used for that. I think I use either date syrup or maple syrup, which I guess is a little processed, um, but they're much healthier for you. And but you don't have to give up the deliciousness of them. And they're great to take your kids, are, you do a bake thing at your kid's school, or you're going to Mother's Day, or, it's Easter. You can just pop these muffins in, and they're super easy to make. And then the other one was the brownie batter, which you can also bake into brownies. Ooh. Wait, is that my recipe?
Yes. I put chocolate chips on the top, and then I put it in the fridge because I did it last night, and the chocolate chips turned like this weird white color. Probably because
Yeah,
I baked the chocolate chips on top, right? And then when you go in the fridge, yeah, so you can see I already took a chunk out and was eating them. They're soft, they're chocolatey, they're gooey. I used a combination of brown rice syrup and maple syrup.
nice.
Um, Very, very nice. And Lori's recipe says you can, I guess you can just eat the batter, but I put mine in a pan and baked it in the oven. They're delicious. Hmm.
Yeah, so I remember making brownies growing up, and my mom just got the like the yeah, they're like fudgy.
Hmm.
My mom would just
Hmm.
buy like a box thing of brownies, and you would add your oil and your eggs and whatever. Um, but I remember just like loving eating the batter. And of course, it's like raw eggs. You're not supposed to do that. But I would love eating the batter. So I was like, I want to make it, so it's safe to eat batter if you want, you don't want to, and also kind of guilt free if you don't want to cook them into brownies. But also, you can do, you can eat half of it as batter and the other half as brownies if you want. And yeah, so there's no risk of like, having the raw egg in there. And you can bake it with your kids and they can eat all the batter they want and, don't have to worry about that. And yeah, a little bit more guilt free than your typical brownies.
Yum, 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 yum. For Valentine's Day, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate.
Yes, yes. It's great for
Now,
Valentine's.
I have in the bundle my cancer healing and prevention using macrobiotic principles. This is a 4-class series that I taught in October. Each class is 2 hours long, and you get the video. And then I also typed up all the information, which ended up being 65 pages
Wow.
of information. I couldn't even cover everything about cancer healing and prevention. And uh, the thing is that these are macrobiotic principles that I've been following for over 30 years now. And but I make it very clear, especially in the first video and everything, is that cancer is just such a persnickety like disease, and there are lots of different ways that you could go about healing your body from cancer. This is just one way with some wonderful suggestions and some wonderful recipes, and everything in here would definitely help you. But some people go all raw and they heal themselves from cancer. Some people, because they have such incredible faith, I've read stories about people who have healed themselves just from their faith. And I just
Mhm.
think that's a miracle and that's wonderful. So there's many different ways to work on healing your body from cancer. This is just one of them. And I have worked with people, using the food, the macrobiotic food, like the miso soup, the aduki beans and squash that I mentioned to you, the umeboshi plum paste, sea vegetables. Each week I feature a sea vegetable because that's important. And it cleanses the body of toxins. It feeds your body vitamins and minerals because your body wants to heal itself, but your body has to be strong enough to heal itself. So you give it the healing, wonderful foods. I also go over Essiac tea, fennel tea, parsley tea, so things that you could make, healing teas. I go over the emotional, spiritual side, how your thoughts create your reality, positive affirmations for healing your body. And I also go over something in this series that's very, very important about chemicals. And when you're diagnosed with cancer, they want you to do MRIs and CAT scans all the time. And they inject you with a chemical. They call it contrast or they call it a dye. And sometimes they tell you it's just iodine and there's nothing wrong with it. It is not. It has a toxic chemical in it that gets embedded into the cells of your body, and it's really hard to cleanse out of your body. And in the class, I go through that, and I also give you links so that you can click on the link and you can go look up the scientific research that tells you exactly what it is, what it does to your body, and why you don't want it in your body. And then I go into great lengths about being your own advocate. And if you're, if it's cancer or maybe something else and you're dealing with a doctor, you've got to be able to say, you know what, doctor, give me that CAT scan, but don't give me that injection. You can do that. And, my dad had prostate cancer, and I told him that. I said, but you have to stand up for that. You have to go there. You have to say, give me the CAT scan, but no injection. They sent him home because he stood for his ground. He said, no injection. And then they had to reschedule the scan because he talked to his doctor. He says, look, I'm willing to get the scan, but you can't give me this injection. So you got to stand up for yourself. And that's part of the course. It's cooking, it's the macrobiotic way, it's the energy of food. But I incorporated so much more in this series that I hope everybody gets a chance, to read the information, watch the video. I actually can teach you more in the video than what's typed out on the paperwork. But yes, I put a lot of time and effort in this. And this is part of the bundle that if you attended this class, it was $140, but the bundle is only $49, right? So it's such a tremendous, tremendous deal, $49.
Yeah.
I can screen share and we can show people what the bundle looks like. Let's see
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, your contribution is incredible. It's such a valuable asset for anyone to have, anyone who just is looking to prevent cancer, or everyone who had or currently has cancer. And this is just such a great tool to have, that they can gift themselves or someone else.
Yeah, so this is the vegan health bundle, right? We only have 8 days, 11 hours, and 12 minutes left because after February 22nd, you can't get it. So this, it just blows your mind. There's some questions here that would answer your questions. You have questions, but look at all this contributions in here. Here's Chef AJ and Melissa, and there's Nate. Mm-hmm. What about you, Laurie? Who else do you like in here?
Oh my gosh, there's so many great ones. So there's the NHA cookbook. I don't know if you've looked at that yet, but that has a ton of recipes in it. I think that what's NHA is like Natural Health Association. Is that what it's?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but here's the sauces. Remember we were talking about vegan sauces? Here's a sauce cookbook. Go ahead.
Yep. So that one looks cool just because it just has tons of recipes, and it has a great index, and you can just be like, oh, I just want to make this, and has all of that. And it has, if you are raw or interested in the raw way of going, tons of raw options in there. Lots of so Connie DeCramer here that you just went by.
Yep.
Her videos are incredible. Loving a relationship with food. And it's just so valuable, especially for someone who has food addiction and knows it or doesn't know it. Like we were talking about before with the cheese or the processed foods, it's really hard to get over the addiction if you don't work on your, emotional and mental health along with the diet health.
Who's this beautiful lady?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, here's our yoga conscious movement flow video series. I did pull this up. I haven't done the actual video. I did briefly look at it because I'm always excited about the yoga contribution that's in the bundle.
Yeah, I like a lot of also movement, workouts. There's the mental, emotional aspects, not just the recipes. It's amazing.
Now, here's the kids. There's Mira Fruta. She's got this kids book. I love this. A kids book, Barefoot Poppy. So there's something in here. If you have kids, you can, gives you an adventure that has to do with healthy food, which is fantastic.
Yep.
The Inner Life of Vegan Health. These two ladies, so interesting, their contribution.
Yeah, I listened to their video. It was really great. They talk a lot. Did you listen to it?
I listened to it's really long. I think I got the first hour and a half I listened to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm gonna butcher like the synopsis of it because what they do is better, but I love that they talked so much about being gentle with yourself and with others. Like, so if, you decide to go vegan and plant-based and no one else around you is, and like just kind of comfortable with yourself and holding your values, if those around you aren't, it can be hard as someone who chooses to not eat animals, or chooses to be cruelty free, and your friends and family are like, well, I need a burger or whatever. And they kind of, I mean, they don't say it in the same way, but they kind of help you, guide you in the way of, kind of just being gentle with them, being gentle with yourself. And it's just, yeah, it's a really great video.
So I haven't got a chance to look at this yet, but you said that you were addicted to ice cream. You like ice cream. So Raw Chef Yin, she has creamy copycats, which is healthy versions of world famous Ben and Jerry Haagen-Dazs classics. So have you looked at that yet?
I haven't. I don't have a Ninja Creamy, but I think maybe I could figure out a way. Probably won't get as great as hers, but I could figure out a way to do it in my food processor that I want to try.
Oh, I didn't know you. I don't have a Ninja Creamy either. I didn't know you needed one, but the pictures look amazing of
Yeah.
her vegan ice cream.
I mean, I've made amazing vegan ice cream in my food processor, so I think I could probably just do that. And you can do it
That's
in your
great.
blender too. Yeah,
There's a fermented book. I'm so because I ferment food also, and
yes,
I want to do a recipe out of hers.
yes, by Nicole Fogelman. Where is that?
Where is that?
Yeah.
I'm at the beginning again. See, there's so many things in the
I know.
bundle.
There's so many things in there. Look at that, the sushi, what I eat in a day series. There's so many things. There's spices and herbs, microwave meals, starch solution, which is pretty famous. Liver love, that's great too. Yeah, there's like,
Oh, here it is. Eat your way to health, fermented foods. I have a huge batch of sauerkraut that's been fermenting for 3 weeks. It's going to be done Wednesday. That'll be 4 weeks of the fermenting. But she's got fermented turmeric root.
ooh,
That's
that's
what I'm going to try
good.
this week. Yep.
That's
I
good.
love my turmeric. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah,
so
from there
this
too.
is the bundle, like we told you about. Okay. So you look at what it is, and then if you want to buy it, you click here. Now let me stop. Okay, so to buy the bundle, the description of this video has the link. I also included in the description of this video Laurie's Instagram account and her Facebook account. So you can click on there. You can follow Laurie there. So you can click on the bundle in this description, or you can click on the bundle from Laurie's Facebook or Instagram. Well, tell people, is that the best way to follow you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, either one. I'm active in both. I also have a free group called Conquer Chronic Illness with Plant-Based Nutrition. It's a free community you can join. Yeah, but you can definitely message me at either Facebook, Instagram. You can also email me at Laurie@laurielandrywellness.com. Yeah, and it's just me. I don't work with a team, so I'll be the one that answers you back. And yeah, I mean, just at least click on, so Chef Val put her link in there. So if you click on her link, that supports her and her work. And if you, I mean, she's hosting, so please go to hers. But if you click on my link, that supports me and my work. We do get like a small percentage of the bundle amount. If you pay for the bundle, which is $49, we get a small percentage of that. And the rest goes to the company behind the Vegan Health Bundle who puts all of this together. And what was I going to say about, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought about that, but it's such an incredible, that's what I was going to say. Just click on the link, and like, I know that Chef Al just showed you scrolling through, but scroll through for yourself, because you can take your time and go through and kind of read all the descriptions and see who's part of it and see what's in there. And because, I mean, I know you're going to find more than one, but even if you just found one thing that you wanted in there, it would be worth it, because each individual thing, most things cost more than just buying the bundle. Most things like retail just the one item for more than the bundle. So, I mean, how much is yours retail for?
$140.
Yeah, and mine retails for 67. So, I mean, even if you just bought one of ours, you're paying well over the cost of the bundle, and the bundle's only $49. I think it comes to like 99% off, so each thing would be like less than $1 if you do the math,
Yeah. Now on Tuesday, February 17th, Laurie's going to interview me on her Instagram account. So make sure you go follow her on Instagram and you can hear more of us talking. And I want to show my loaf one more time. I'm super excited about it.
Oh, I wish I could try it with you. It looks
I
so
wonder if
good.
it'll. I still don't think it's hot. It's cool enough to come out of the pan, but yeah. So we're gonna finish up here, and again, you can ask us questions even if you're watching this video on a replay and you put a comment in or something. You know, we can answer your question there. Any last minute thoughts or things you want to add, Laurie?
I feel like we did pretty well at covering it. I'm excited to chat with you over on my Instagram channel, and I can get more in depth with what what's in your um, contribution, and I'm looking forward to that and to your cancer healing and prevention. And I'll probably ask your story over on my Instagram so my followers can hear all about you. But I feel like we covered it. Just click on the link just to scroll through what it's all about, because it's just such an incredible value that you'll get to keep for life, you know?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Laurie, for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun talking with you. Greatly appreciate it. All right. So everybody click the link, get the bundle.